The 408 Water Report. You ever come across a story that sounds too specific to be fake? Like the kind of detail no storyteller would ever think to invent? That's exactly what happened in Buffalo, New York, back in the winter of 2011. A city report, time-stamped, verified, and quietly buried. Locals call it the 408 Water Report because whatever happened that morning started at exactly 4:08 a.m. And for 37 seconds, the entire underground system seemed to breathe. January 14th, 2011. Temperature 17 degrees. Wind chill 9. Buffalo's water department was running a routine overnight calibration test on its west side distribution line, a maintenance check that had never once failed in over 30 years. At 4:08 a.m., pressure monitors in Zone 4 logged a massive synchronized surge, followed by a sudden vacuum drop. Every gauge, every meter, spiked the exact same pattern across 5 miles of pipe. One technician later wrote, "It was like the system inhaled." Then exhaled residents on Grant Street called the hotline that morning, saying their faucets hissed without being turned on. One woman described it as the sound of something moving through the pipes. Another swore her kitchen sink rattled so hard it cracked the tiles around it. By 7 a.m., field engineers were dispatched to inspect the zone. They found nothing wrong. No leaks, no bursts, no mechanical faults. But when they reached the main valve chamber labeled 4B, the air temperature inside was nearly 30 degrees higher than outside. The valve casing was warm to the touch. Not lukewarm, warm, like something warm and moving had passed through. They recorded the readings, logged the anomaly, and filed it under a temporary tag, Incident 408. By noon, that tag had already been renamed System 408, and all further documentation required clearance from the Department of Infrastructure Analysis, a department that doesn't appear in any city directory or record. 2 years later, in 2013, a journalist named Eli Carver filed a Freedom of Information request. He'd heard rumors about a sealed valve zone under Porter Avenue, an area marked off-limits by the city. When the documents were released, most were blacked out, but a few fragments survived. One email dated February 2011 read, "Do not resume pressure equalization tests until Site 408 is fully isolated. The internal cycle remains active." That phrase, our internal cycle, appears 6 more times, but never explained. Audio logs from that same week were accidentally uploaded to a public server for 48 hours before being deleted. A copy survived in an archive thread. The file begins with a low mechanical hum, then rhythmic pulses 37 seconds apart, each pulse echoing faintly, metallic, hollow, deeper than the pipes should allow. By late spring of 2011, the city made a strange move. They poured concrete into the 4B chamber, sealing it completely. The slab was stamped with stenciled letters, System 408, Do Not Access. No explanation was ever given to the press. When questioned, the Public Works spokesperson said the area was structurally unstable due to soil moisture, but internal reports list no such issue. For months after, residents near the old line claimed they could hear dull knocking sounds at night, coming from underground. Not random knocks, but patterns. Always 3, then pause. 3, then pause, as if something mechanical was trying to restart. A local plumber once cracked a joke, said the city had buried a heartbeat. But when he went to show the sealed access point to a friend, it was gone, paved over, like it was never there. 10 years later, 2021. Buffalo's new smart water monitoring grid began detecting micro pressure spikes every January 14th. Always at 4:08 a.m., always lasting exactly 37 seconds. But here's the strange part. The spikes aren't localized anymore. They occur in different neighborhoods each year, slowly radiating outward from the original site, as if whatever caused it is moving through the grid. The latest log from 2024 shows the event reaching as far as Amherst, nearly 10 miles north. One analyst off the record said this, "If you plot the spikes year by year, they form a slow-moving pattern, almost like it's mapping something no agency has ever claimed responsibility for the System 408 seal." No scientist has ever published a verified cause for the 37-second pulse, but every year on January 14th, local utility workers still double-check their pressure logs before heading home for the night, just to make sure it doesn't happen again. And if you're ever in Buffalo around that time, listen closely near the West Side hydrants around 4 a.m. Some people say if the city's quiet enough, you can still hear it. A deep breath rising through the concrete, like something waiting to exhale.